Your dad was an absolute icon, loved by so many, and I feel like everyone sort of felt like they knew him in a way.
Yes.
But obviously you knew him in a very different way. Can you tell me a bit about your relationship with your dad?
Well, I think over the years, I'm very much a mini Shane. The way we look, the way we act, our mannerisms, everything are very similar. And I used to be like, oh, why did I get my mum's genes? Why didn't I get my mum's genes and all of this? And I think over the years, more and more as I learnt to know my dad more and I learnt to know myself more, I was so proud that, I am a mini Shane.
I am wondering if everything that's happened over the past 18 months, losing your dad, do you think that there's been a push for you to mature more quickly, or do you feel like that was something that happened before? Or can you tell me about your journey with yourself over the last year and a half?
So I think growing up in the public eye, my brother, my sister and myself, we've had to grow up a lot quicker. And, everything that's happened to us as kids, you sort of have to be strong and get on with it, or you're not going to be able to handle, what's going on. So I think growing up, having that, always having people looking at you and having to be so resilient, I think from such a young age, we had to grow up quick. And I think with us having such incredible parents and such incredible guidance and seeing how strong they were when constant things were coming at them, I think we wanted to be like them and with their mindset. And I think now, obviously, growing up without a dad, well, I haven't not grown up without a dad, but, in the future, I think there's a lot of things that we have to think about and we have to sort of say, okay, well, how would dad handle this situation? And we want to handle it like that, because that's sort of how he raised us, always taught us to be, always thinking and always have, a positive outlook on life, but to always be strong and to not let people get you down and don't worry about what people say about you. And I think we've always had that mentality and always sort of had that in our heads. And obviously he would always tell us that growing up. And I think that's something that will stick with us, forever. But growing up in the public eye, you have to be strong. Otherwise, you get really down and all of that. And people say, used to affect us. And obviously there's still some things that do affect us, but they just obviously have really sad lives and they don't have, they're not strong, they're not resilient. They don't have that kind of, toughness inside of them that we have if they feel the need to put everyone down and put us down and whatever.
Yeah.
So I think we've definitely had to grow up a bit more in the last 18 months, but I think we've sort of been not preparing for this our whole lives, but sort of had that strong mentality since we were little, and I think that's helped us because of how we were raised, if that makes sense. Because people say, oh, have you moved on? It's like, how could you? No,
you
I don't want to, and I never would. It's learning to deal and learning to move on with your life, not move on from that person. And I think lots of people, I don't know, I haven't spoken to people about this, but I think there's like a bit of, how would you put this? I feel like people sort of say, yep, there's your grieving period. This is this. You'll get over it. And then you go on. You move on. You move on from this thing. You don't.
Yeah.
I
think there's a lot of people say, time heals. But I don't really agree with that.
No,
I think it depends on what it is. But I think when it comes to grief, and from my experience, that you don't learn, it doesn't get easier.
Yeah.
But you get better at
correct.
Sort of parking it when you need to, working around it.
Yeah.
And living your life, despite how you're feeling.
Yeah.
Rather than it shrinking.
Yeah. You spot on. And I think that's what we're sort of learning now, and what we have sort of been learning is, and to sort of we've been speaking about it, is because that's never going to go away. That sense of loss, that sense of sadness, that's never going to go. We'll be sad for the rest of our lives, but it's learning how to say, you know what, I'm sad, but I'm going to try and be happy today. I want to be happy today for them. I want to be happy today for us. I want to be happy, for the people that I'm celebrating or whatever it is.
And the people that are still here.
And the people that are still here. And I think that's such a big thing that I think a lot of people get too caught up in their own heads about is, oh, I'm still sad and it's, this long after. It's like, you're always going to be.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's making sure that, as long as, yes, you have your sadness and have as many days as you want not talking to anyone or doing anything, but as long as you still find that joy in little things, whether it's a laugh.
Cooking,
laughing, watching a movie, watching, a funny TV show you guys used to watch together or whatever it is, finding joy and laughter. It is the best thing in the world. Laughter is the best. People say it's the best medicine. It is.
100%.
If you laugh in the shittest of times, my brother has this friend, Sam, and he's hilarious. He'll love that he's getting a shout out. But he just could make we all sort of were all staying at our beach house. We're all together and we have our little crew. And he would just say the funniest things and would just make us laugh. And I can still picture now, like we'd be crying, bawling, and then we would just start hysterically laughing. And we would just go, this is just effed. Like, what is happening? Like, are you kidding?
You don't know where the tears
we don't know
are.
Like, exactly.
Laughter or
and
sadness.
Having people and, we've got this really good friend, Riley, and he was just as sad. He was, he was quite close to my dad and he would just make us laugh, like, and we're just so grateful that we have those friends that will just come and be with us and just make us laugh, So I think laughter's it's the best thing for you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So obviously that's a bit of a coping mechanism for you, laughter. Can you tell me about some of the other strategies that you have? Say you do wake up and you're feeling particularly low.
Yeah.
What are the things that help you to get out of that state of mind?
I think there's a couple of different low days. I think there's some low days where I just want to be on my phone and just scroll aimlessly for 8 hours in my pajamas in bed. Or there's days where I'll not want to talk to anybody and I'll just want to watch TV, or I'll want to watch movies that, Dad and I'd watched together, or we watched 2.5 Men when we're sad. And at the moment we've just started watching it again because that was Dad's favourite show. He loved 2.5 Men. And as kids we'd always watch it with him. So we'd watch that. Or there were some days where we were sad but we really missed him, so we'd want to watch videos and we'd want to watch old home movies. And my mum videoed everything when we were kids. So we've got so much footage. We're so grateful to have so much footage. And obviously now with phones and everything, we would always video so much. So I think there's a few different low days, and sometimes the days where you watch all this footage, when we'd watch footage, when I would watch, videos and stuff of my dad, it would actually make me sadder. But then afterwards I would be like, I'm okay because I've just felt like I've just spent the day with him and, we've laughed and all of this. So I think you deal with it however you feel like on the day.
Yeah.
Whether it's you want to do nothing, that's fine. You want to watch videos, that's fine. You want to watch TV all day and not talk to anyone, that's fine as well. I think you just have to listen to your body.
Yeah.
And,
that's such good advice.
Yeah, I think you just have to listen to yourself and listen to someone might tell you, oh, no, you got to get up and go for a walk and go to the gym. It's going to make you feel great. No.
You're like, not today.
No.
Yeah.
Some days, yep, I'll train every day. Today, don't feel like it. And that's fine.
Yeah.
You've just got to do whatever you feel like doing. And I think a lot of the last 18 months, the past 18 months, there's been a lot of times where I've sort of learnt just to say no.
Mm.
And I'm such a yes person, like, yep, let's catch up for coffee. Yep, let's go for a walk. Yep, I'll go to these 2 events. Yep, I'll do this. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm exhausted. I don't want to do anything. I'm so tired. And I'll stretch myself too thin and I'll be like, I've committed to all this stuff when I haven't wanted to, but I've wanted to keep them happy.
Yeah.
So I think what's going to make me happy? Not to do any of it? Great, don't do any of it.
That's good.
So just learning to just not overextend myself and not, as much as you want to catch up with a friend, life's so busy.
Mm-hmm.
You like life is so busy, as you know. Like you don't always have to. Friendships that you genuinely care and love and have that special bond with, they're not going to mind if you say no to catching up. They're not going to mind if you say, I actually can't see you for 2 weeks because I'm really busy and I just don't want to do anything at nighttime. Your real friends will say, you know what? That's fine.
Yeah, they're going to
when
stick
you're
around
free.
regardless.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's a scary thing to say no, but you just have to look after yourself and do what makes you happy.
Definitely.
I've also started getting into reformer Pilates.
Awesome.
Which I'm loving because I feel like if you think about anything else during Pilates, you're going to fall over. So I'm like, I can't be thinking about anything else that's going on right now except for this pose right here.
You have to be really present.
Yeah, really present. And I think with our phones these days, with, you know, busy music, busy everything, everything's so busy, I think having like 45 minutes to switch off is so important. And no matter what it is, no matter what makes you feel good, whether it's running, swimming, walking, bike riding, gymnastics, trampolining, reformer Pilates, normal Pilates, hot Pilates, gym, PT, whatever it is, doing something that actually makes you feel good, even if you don't want to be there to start with, you're never going to regret a workout ever.
Is there a piece of advice that you would give yourself knowing what was about to happen?
It's going to be okay.
Oh, that's so perfect.
Yeah.
And
Well,
makes
my
me
dad would
emotional.
always say that. He goes, it's going to be okay. You know, try harder, find a way. It's going to be all right. It's going to be okay. So I think it's something that, you know, as shit as it is to hear, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It will be okay. If you've got the right people around you and you want it to be okay, it will be. Whatever will be, will be.
Oh, I feel like it's going to be okay just sitting here talking to you. Everything's going to be just fine. And hopefully, I feel like this conversation and what you've shared with us today, you've been so generous. I think you'll help a lot of people who are struggling with grief.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Liv. It's such an incredible opportunity.
Thanks for listening to Tell Me More. This show wouldn't be possible without you. If you'd like to show your support, please subscribe or follow the podcast on your favourite platforms. And don't forget, you can watch full episodes on YouTube and Spotify.